Lure fishing for bream in Australia has become a massive sport. It's very addictive and very effective. Hang around for a few minutes, I'll show you how to catch a few. If you want to chase bream on lures, you've got to find them first, and they're not hard fish to find if you understand them. They're always looking for an area which is a little bit sheltered from current and where there's food. So look for hard structure and shade, places like your boat ramps, your jetties, your moored boats, your pontoons, your rock walls, your natural structure. Anywhere that's got shade, a little bit of hard stuff to deflect current, you'll find the bream. Two outfits I'm using today to chase bream on lures. It's a Daiwa 1.5 to 3 kilo rod, matched with the Freems 2500 size reel, 5 pound Shimano bite motion braid, 4 pound leader. The other rod is a Lox 1 to 3 kilo rod, sustained 2500 reel, 3 pound bite motion braid and 4 pound leader. Two beautiful little outfits to go chase your bream on lures. Having found your bream and chasing them with soft plastics, there's two dominant ways you're going to chase them. If those fish are suspending, sitting up high underneath the floating structure, bridges and pontoons, what you want to do is fish a really lightly weighted jig head, almost near weightless, and what you want to do is slowly drift that plastic through those fish. On the other hand, the fish are holding deep around hard structure, bottom of bridge pylons and rock and reef. What you then want to do is get a heavier jig head and get that plastic down to where they are. That's the two dominant approaches when you use your soft plastics. Work out where the fish are and then your approach to how to get a lure to them. Targeting bream on the bottom with soft plastics. Pick a jig head weight that's just going to get you to bottom. Cast to where you know those fish are going to be and then watch your braid. It's made easy for me today. I've got Power Pro bite motion. The moment that jig head starts hitting the bottom, I'll see it start tapping or relaxing. As it does that, a little jiggle up off the bottom and then I wind up that line. I've got to keep it tight throughout the retrieve. Let it get back to bottom, keep repeating it. If you get a bite, any little tap, lift and away you go. Can be as easy as that. Oh yeah, yep. Oh, solid. Ooh, he's got a bit of weight. Magnificent looking fish. Woo, look at him, he's a chunk. Isn't that a magnificent bream? He's all lit up, scoffed a little 2-inch plastic, and sometimes the fish are a little bit tough. Don't be afraid to vary your plastic sizes. Some days they'll eat a 3-4 inch plastic. Other days they like small stuff coming past them. Experiment until you start getting those bites. You'll be catching fish on lures before you know it. Chasing suspended bream is all about really lightly weighted soft plastics, and the key to catching them is casting accuracy. You have to put that lure right in where those fish are. It has to land in the shade, it has to land right against the structure. And then keep your line slack and let it drift right into that zone where the fish are. Watch your line for bites. The moment it speeds up, strike and away you go. Get those casts accurate and you'll be catching them. When it comes to bream hard lures, you can broadly classify them into 3 key types. We've got our bib minnows, like these Savage fathead cranks and finesse cranks, come with different style bibs to allow that lure to dig deeper in the water and wiggle away and attract those fish. The next one is our surface lures. Poppers or stick bait lures like this, wonderful options for fishing surface for those bream. And then we've got what we call our lipless style lures. They come in both hard plastic and metal blade style lures, and what they do is they sink and they vibrate, and they can be fished in so many different ways. When you're fishing your walk the dog style surface retrieves, get good long casts across where the fish are, and then rod tip towards the sky, a slow and continuous wind, and just keep wiggling that rod tip. That rod tip will give that lure that side to side action with the occasional pause thrown in. Sometimes when the fish will eat it, just keep working those retrieves back to your feet across all the likely looking area. It's a very, very addictive way to catch fish on lures. This is the Savage Vibra Prey, and it's a lipless crankbait style lure. They're incredibly versatile as a bream lure or any other species for that matter. What they do is that they vibrate when they pull through the water, and they also sink, which means you can fish them in so many ways. Cast them across where you think the fish are. If it's really shallow water, you can simply slow roll them. If the water's deeper, however, let them sink to the bottom, watch your braid the moment it hits the bottom. Couple little lifts, keep your line tight, let them go back down. They effectively become a jigging lure then, so you can either slow roll them in the shallows or jig them in the deeper stuff, and bream just love them. When you're fishing a bibbed hard body, first choice is to get the bib, which is going to get you down to where you think the fish are most likely to be holding and feeding. Then cast to that zone, get it as tight to those fish as possible, and in most cases, a slow and steady retrieve will catch them. Occasional pause, the occasional twitch of the rod can be thrown in to get the odd fish to bite, but generally slow and steady. The most important thing you can do though is hit structure. If you're fishing shallows like this, make sure the lure hits the bottom. If you're targeting suspended fish under pontoons, around bridges, make sure that lure occasionally hits the hard stuff and you'll get them biting in no time.